Alright guys, so I get asked all of the time, what units should I use to solo raid? So in this video, I'm going to be going through the best units to solo every single raid in the game, and I do believe they are all soloable at the moment. But before we hop into it guys, don't forget to smash the subscribe button. The developer that's working on my co-unit is starting anytime now, so hopefully look for some leaks on my co-unit this week and a little bit of sneak preview. So let's help me get to 500k guys by the end of the year, so we can have that my co-unit for Christmas. Let's get it guys. And of course guys, he'll help you out on raids too, like let's be real. Considering how OP my last unit was, shucks guys. You guys remember Dragon Maid solo in freaking Marine raid? Yes sir guys. All right, so let's get it started. So we're gonna go through first, we'll go through all of the best damaging units, and then I'll go through some of the support. All right, and we'll go raid by raid. So first up we have for the Marine raid. All right, let's see here. For the Marine raid, Marine HQ, and then we have, where is it? Frick, Spirit raid, somewhere back here. Yeah, Spirit raid. The best units to bring for that are going to be these ones right here, guys. All right. Oh, also for the dual raid as well, I believe. I think that raid is also a blue raid, dual raid right here. So for those three raids, if you're trying to beat those, these are the units you're going to want to bring, guys. These units are cracked out. All right, so we have Kirito, Future Gohan. All right, Levi, he got a buff, so he's actually cracked now. This guy right here, I don't know if he's obtainable anymore. He might still be in the, I think he's still in the Star Pass. We got this guy from the Star Pass, and then Kizaru. Also, there's a few other units I like to bring that aren't on this list. The other units I like to bring for this raid are Chainsaw Man. Let's see who else I soloed it with. Yeah, Chainsaw Man's good for this. Meliodas you can use for this. Naruto you can use for this. Let's see, who else do I like to use? Dragon Maid, of course. Honestly, even Golden Supreme Leader after his buff, you could probably use for that one. Also, I destroyed it with Abarai as well. He's a great unit to use for that. There's a bunch of good units for this raid, guys. For those raids. All right, so next up we have the Mythical Freedom raid. Mythical Freedom raid is a little bit harder to solo. If I recommended you some units, I definitely recommend. All right, where's it at? I definitely will recommend Venom for this one. Katakuri as well. I'm trying to think what other units I used. Yeah, that one's a little bit harder of a raid to solo, guys, but it's definitely possible. Let me see what else. I'll go over it a little bit later on what units to use for that one. All right, let's see what else we have. We'll just go by colors. So for any raid that's fire raids. All right, for example, the Sijin raid, you're gonna want to bring Cooler. Cooler is good for every raid. All right, this guy's cracked as well. She's another unit you want to bring for the what's it called, for the Freedom raid. Kakashi also got a nice buff, guys. So Kakashi's a great unit to bring for any water raids. This guy as well is a good bleed unit. All right, Blue Goku did get a good buff, so he's pretty decent. She's good. Lancer's decent. And then this guy, I don't know if I did a showcase on it, maybe a long time ago. All right, next up we have for the grass raids. So grass raids, there's not a lot of them if I remember correctly. I think the only grass raid I know of, maybe Meteor raid might be a grass raid, and then Machi Planet as well. Those are the only ones I remember that are grass raids. So for grass raids, you're going to bring Itachi. He's cracked. Yamamoto is good for every raid. Yamamoto's also meta for the path raid as well. All right, Ryuga, of course, OP. Rengoku's really good for the path raid too. This guy's also cracked. Sasuke's pretty good. All right, Pain is good for like every raid. And then this guy as well got a nice buff. All right, so for lightning raids, for example, if you guys are trying to beat the Hell raid, I think the Hell raid's the only one I know of that has this type. There's probably another one, but definitely the Hell raid, guys. All right, so for the Hell raid, you're going to want to bring Zoro's decent. All right, Mihawk's cracked. Tanjiro's very good for the Hell raid. All right, he's okay for the Hell raid. She's okay. Cell's okay too. He's okay and he's okay. Now, this doesn't actually have all the units. Some other units I recommend for the Hell raid. Broly's actually pretty cracked for the Hell raid. Shisui, you might be able to get away with him for the Hell raid. Let me see who else was good that I remember. The Path, actually, guys, the Path, he used to be good for the Hell raid. He was part of a lot of solo strats back in the day as well. All right, next up we have, now these two guys, basically these guys can beat any raid. All right, so what I recommend if you guys bring this one is you bring Asta. Asta's the easiest one to get. You can't get God Zamasu anymore, all right, because he was a code unit and that code's expired. But if you do have God Zamasu, you can bring him and then any of these units, guys. Gohan, all right, Akasa, she's good as well for money unit support. All right, Luffy's really good. Pucci's really good. All right, Conan's cracked. All right, these guys are all good light units, but there's some other good light units as well. Let me show you those light units that I like to bring. All right, other good light units you guys can bring are, she's all right depending on your strategy. I guess those are all kind of the good light units. Yeah, I guess those are, there's not really a lot of good light units, guys. Oh my gosh, I guess they're right. All right, here you go. For the dark one, if you have Astd, you can get him from the banner. I get him on all my new to pros. Basically, you can use him. He'll change all the enemies' enchants to light. So that means dark does triple damage. Gojo's really good to bring with it. Sid, Astd combo is busted because Astd kind of handles the air. Sid handles the rest. Sid can also solo bosses as well. Also, Umbra. All right, Umbra, you can get it for free from Gauntlet mode. Sukuna's okay. Gojo's, this version of Gojo's okay. She's okay. Aizen's really good for bosses as well, and then we got those. So those, and then Toppo's okay as well. So these are all the units, guys, you want to use depending on the enchant of the raid, or you guys can just go with an Astd strategy and just beat any raid like that. All right, also big shout out to the Bryce for making the tier list as well. All right, then we have like the more generals. So this is the more support. So the meta overall DPSs, you can pretty much bring these on any raid you want. All right, Itachi for the black flames, Yamamoto for burn, Ryuko for rupture. Honestly, these three, oh my gosh, so OP together. All right, Zoro's okay for bleed, but I would rather bring Sid than Zoro. Zoro's not that great for bleed. All right, honestly, you might as well bring Akasa instead. All right, for boss killers, what? For boss killers, definitely a bunch of metal coolers. But if you're soloing boss killers, you gotta bring Aizen, because Aizen one-shots all the bosses. He is so OP, guys. Definitely bring Aizen. So I believe Toppo has a nuke as well. Yamamoto just does so much damage. Same with Sid. All right, if you combo Sid with Astd, he can pretty much clap any boss. All right, same with Ryugo, but I recommend Sid over Ryugo because Ryugo's last upgrade's way too expensive, or maybe just bring both, especially if you're doing like the girl zone raid. All right, Sid and Umbra is really good for the girl zone raid. All right, also Luffy's good as well. Luffy's a great combo if you have God Zamasu. He's okay. All right, not bad. And Toppo's pretty good. All right, leaders. These units are all used because of their money buff. Now, Tanjiro and Sid have the best money buff, so I recommend bringing them if you have them. Akasa's good for free-to-play players because you can pick her up from Banner Z. And these two units are just less common than the other ones. All right, buffers. The buffs I recommend, guys, you just got to bring Idol, all right? There's no question about it. Bring Idol. She's the best buff unit, guys, and she also gives you money. Just bring Idol if you're doing a solo raid. You can also bring Speedwagon. Speedwagon does give more money than Idol. I recommend Speedwagon for any raids that have 19 waves. And then if you're soloing it, you might still have to just bring Idol or bring both. Octo is not that good. Gemfinder is good for the path raid, all right? Because he gives you the most money at the first. Yeah, he gives you the most money at the start, but it splits between all your teammates. So you need to make sure all teammates use Gemfinder. And if all teammates do use Gemfinder, it's OP as frick, but only for the early waves. And then you have to switch to Speedwagon. Best slow units. All right, these actually, they missed the unit, guys. All right, I will be honest. Yeah, they missed the unit here. So you can use Blackbeard is the easiest to get than Katakuri. But if you guys were lucky enough to get him, another great slow unit you guys can bring are Gecko Moria. All right, Gecko Moria is really cracked out as well. I'd honestly say he might be better than Katakuri. He's really, really good. Plus, he has the dark passive, so he's doing triple damage, so you can actually bring him as a little bit of a DPS. Also, he slows for only 4.1k, which is crazy. And look at that, guys. Look at the prices. Way cheaper than Katakuri. Way cheaper. So in my opinion, I think Gecko Moria is the GOAT for raids. All right. Another unit you guys can bring for slows for raids. He's a little bit harder to use, and you can't slow. Maybe not as good for solos, but he does slow air units. So depending on the raid, I think it was the Doflamingo raid. He might be helpful. Falcon. All right. Because Falcon does slow the air units, which is very nice. So don't. But he's also very hard to get. So good luck getting him. All right. And then time stoppers, guys. Okay. This list. These are the best time stoppers. Gojo for sure. This guy's also pretty good as well. He also has an ability that makes your base have 5 billion more HP, which could be useful for you guys. All right, if you guys are having trouble beating raids, but that's a pretty expensive upgrade. But you can kind of use him instead of Aizen if you combo him with Metal Cooler. And then Poochie, I guess this is Poochie 6-star, has a time stop or something. Also, guys, if you're really down bad, you can always use Mysterious Gojo. You can always use the old Gojo for time stop. Also, you can use Admin as well. She's kind of like a budget freeze unit. So depending, if you do it right and you have God Zamasu, you can use her for a lot of damage. Or if you're doing the Girl Zone raid, she's also a great bet as well. So those are all the great units you guys want to bring for raids. And honestly, story mode too. They're kind of the same. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tier list. And I'll catch you guys all in the next one. And peace out.